If you're looking to drive growth for your SaaS business, but you're having these moments where you're like, look, we're doing all these things and we should be going faster. We should be growing more. It's almost as if you're doing all these things, but there's this invisible hand just holding back the growth of your SaaS business. I've been there as a founder. And in this episode, I'm going to walk you through this one equation I use. It's called the pipeline coverage equation. I'm going to walk you through how to actually implement this equation in your business so that you can figure out exactly what that invisible hand is, what's holding you back. And once you implement this equation in your business, you will be able to accelerate your path to that next stage of growth. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching programs, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. There's this saying we have in SaaS and really in any sort of B2B business, pipeline cures all. What that means is if your win rates are suffering, get more pipeline. If you are in a competitive market, get more pipeline. If you are not hitting your numbers or you're trying to ramp salespeople, get more pipeline. The more pipeline you have, the more opportunities you have, the more customer conversations you're having. The more customer conversations you're having, the more data you're collecting. The more data you're collecting, the more you're going to be able to pivot your business to unlock that growth. But here's the big question. How much pipeline is enough pipeline? This is one of the biggest things that I struggle with as a founder. In my last SaaS company, Toutapp, I worked with my CRO, Frank Swain, amazing guy, wore a three-piece suit to work every day. And after every sales call, he asked his reps, did you send the PO, which was purchase order. I had to look that up when we first started working together. But he taught me the importance of pipeline coverage. And in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the exact secret, not so secret, but often not used equation that I use for any SaaS business I operate or any SaaS business that I coach right now to figure out how much pipeline you need, what that pipeline coverage should be, and what's holding you back. So if you're excited to dig into the 3 key principles and how to incorporate this pipeline coverage formula so you can unlock your growth, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. And let's dig right into it. So principle number 1 in this equation that I'm gonna walk you through, and by the end of this episode, I'm gonna show you exactly what to do with this equation to unlock your growth, is figuring out your target number. So every company has a target number. Let's just take, for example, how much business you want to book in the next month, all right? So let's just say in the next month, I want to book 100K of net new business. This is not renewals. This is not cross sells. This is not existing customers. Like I want to get 100K of net new business that I'm adding to my MRR. Let's just say you want to do that. So that's the first piece you want to do. A lot of times founders go around and saying, especially in the early stage, like, let's just grow as fast as possible. Let's do all the things. Let's paint the town blue so that everyone knows about us and we'll close as much business as possible. And that's okay when you're starting out, but as you start to get some movement going, it's really important to set a target. And that's the first piece of this equation. Once you have a target, the second thing you want to do in this equation is plug in your win rate. Every SaaS business has a certain win rate. If you're product led, that's your conversion rate. That's how many qualified people are starting a trial and converting to paid. If you're sales driven, then it's how many quality opportunities are being booked and getting on a call with your sales reps or yourself if you're at that founder led stage. And the win rate is how many of those opportunities or trials are converting to real revenue. Now, you should look this up. You should look at how many opportunities we had or how many trials we started, and out of that, how much converted to revenue. And that's essentially your win rate or conversion rate, depending on how you want to look at it. Average win rate for SaaS companies, especially in the early stages, even in the later stages, is 20%. This is not a random number. It essentially is Pareto's principle of the 80-20. 20% of the opportunities you create or the users that sign up or the calls that you're having are going to become real customers. The rest may not buy now, but they'll buy later. Now, if you're getting a lot of warm inbound calls, inbound leads, and you're really nurturing them, you have a robust go-to-market strategy, I've seen this win rate go up to 53%. If you're doing outbound, where you're going in cold and trying to bring them on a call, then it kind of ends up being 15 to 20%. 20%. But looking at this blended win rate will help you understand this part of the equation where what's our average win rate? In this particular case, let's just say we want to do 100K of new business and we win 20% of the deals that we actually talk to. Actual users starting the trial, or in a sales-led case, actual customers, potential customers that are coming on a prospecting call or a discovery call or a demo call. Once you have these two pieces, you essentially get this number right here, which is what's called your pipeline coverage number. So this is called pipeline coverage number. Now, different people may call it slightly differently. Even the word pipeline coverage is a really OG word, just like purchase order. You may call it slightly different things, but if you divide 100K by 20%, you essentially get 500K. What that means is very simple. Out of the 500K worth of pipeline that your marketing team or your outbound team, or you, if you're just founder-led right now, any one of these cases apply, generate, you're going to win 20% of that, or whatever your win rate is. And then out of that 20% is going to be essentially your 100K of net new business. This alone is the type of thing that a lot of founders and a lot of go-to-market leaders don't think about on a regular basis. This is why I call it my secret, but not so secret formula, because this is not groundbreaking. However, this is the single invisible hand that holds back the growth of SaaS companies. Your salespeople might be great. You might be great at sales. You may be doing enough marketing and really educating the buyers and getting them to show up on calls. Your product may be amazing. Your customers are so happy and your churn is healthy. However, if you don't generate at least 500K of pipeline, quality pipeline, and you don't win at least 20% of that, you don't stand a chance at hitting that 100K number. And so a lot of times, and this has happened to Baby TK, this has happened to me, where we're like, I don't get it. We should be going faster. We have a great product, we have great customers. Why are we not growing faster? And then you go look at your salespeople, or you look at your marketing steps, and you're looking at all these things, and you're reevaluating your own sales calls. You just don't know what it is. Usually, it's just mathematics. Mathematically, you cannot hit this target number unless you really figure out a way to generate this much pipeline. Now, there are a couple of different things that you can do with this. You can try to figure out, well, why don't we just win more? Let's get 50% more of a win rate. You could do that, but then you're going up against the laws of physics. Can you do that? Absolutely. I have seen that, but in the early stages, it can be really hard. The easier thing, believe it or not, relatively speaking, or the more probabilistically possible thing, if that's a word, but the thing that's gonna really move the needle for you is to figure out ways of getting more pipeline. Going back to what I said originally, if you get more pipeline, you get into more customer conversations, you learn more, you get more data, you see what works, you tweak your process, you get more at-bats, and that allows you to improve the overall process and drive up this win rate. In a vacuum, if you just got 2 deals and you lost both of them, your problem isn't that you have a 0% win rate, your problem is you only had 2 deals. And that's where this equation really comes in. Now, this actually breaks down into some additional things, because you might be wondering, okay, TK, great, we don't have enough pipeline, we need more pipeline. What do we do with this? So this is where the rest of this equation really comes in. And this part I think is a little bit more secret, really not enough people do this. Now, before I go into the rest of these pieces on how you actually take action on this, once you figure out your math around this, let me just pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power in this? Are you starting to see the power of this simple equation where you can just figure out what's my target, what's my win rate, how much pipeline do I need? Am I hitting that pipeline number or am I not? Chances are 9 times out of 10, you are not hitting that pipeline number. And that is the invisible hand that's holding you back. It's not your fault. It's not your product's fault. It's not your market's fault. It's literally the fault of math. Blame math for it. But that's what you need to hit. If you're starting to see the power in this, can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Also, if you're in the stage where you're looking to drive growth for your SaaS business and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I generate enough pipeline? How do I actually mobilize my team and align my team? Maybe I need to hire some people. Maybe I need to get into it and really embrace the founder-led journey. This is exactly why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll also link to it below. But right now, let's talk about what you actually do with this number, this 500K number that's staring at your face. Also, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. And between you and me, so do we. We just put a lot of love into these videos and we love it when you do that. Okay. So once you have this number, it's a big number and it's a scary number. So one of the biggest things I do when I'm coaching founders is I tell them, okay, let's make this more tangible. Let's make this more real. So the next thing we do is we take your average contract value, ACV. ACV could also be your average deal size or average price a customer pays when they buy your product. So in this scenario, let's just say our ACV is 10K, which means that each customer that I convert, I'm gonna get 10K of revenue. So I need 500K of pipeline. Now, 500K is a large number, and a lot of people don't know how to think about it, but if I divide the 500K with my average contract value, I essentially get 50. And that's a lot easier to understand. What that means is I need 50 quality opportunities. You see how that's a lot better? I need to go after 50 quality opportunities, 50 target customers, 50 people that are in my ideal customer profile. And I need to figure out how to go after these 50 people. And if I can engage with them, get them to come on a demo, get them to trial the product, get them on a sales call, then I can win 20% of those and I can generate my 100K of net new business target. Are you starting to see the power in this? 500K can be almost like, oh my God, how are we ever gonna do that? What are we gonna do? But if you break it down, divide by ACV, you get 50 opportunities. That's your target. That becomes a lot more tangible. And all of a sudden, that invisible hand dissipates. Now you're like, cool, what do we need to do to generate 50 new opportunities? And really, another way to say that is, how do we start conversations with 50 people in our ideal customer profile? The ideal customers that would buy from us. And this is where the power of this equation really comes in, because half of this equation is just knowing. A lot of people don't do the math around this. And they're like, I don't get it. Why are we not hitting our numbers? Well, simple math. But then you're like, well, how do we mobilize it? Well, instead of saying, you need to go generate 500K of opportunities. So like, look, we need to go after 50 target customers. Let's start there. Let's get the momentum going, and then we can scale from there. And this way, depending on what stage you're in, you could be in the founder-led stage. You could be where you have the other extreme where, we work with companies upwards of 40 million in ARR, and we work with companies that are pre-revenue. So it's the same principles. Really, you can go to your team and say, cool, we need to generate 50 opportunities. Who's gonna be responsible for what? And this is where the power comes. Instead of just putting out a big number, you can start to say, okay, let's break down this 50 into the key areas we can generate this pipeline. Let's start with marketing. Maybe we do an inbound process where we actually put out content, we put out a manifesto, we generate quality pipeline, and they become sales conversations because we nurtured them. Let's also think about outbound. Maybe we hire an SDR, or I do it myself, and I go after 50 to 100 of our people in our ideal customer profile. And you can also say, let's do some referrals. Let's go to our existing customers, they're happy, and ask them for 1 to 5 referrals. We'll incentivize them, and that can get us at least 10 new customers. And that's the power of this entire equation, which I'll still call secret because it's mind-boggling to me how many founders and how many SaaS leaders suffer where they're like, I don't get it. We should be doing better. We should be hitting our number. But really, it's simple math, and they don't know how to break it down into these simple numbers. Now you can actually go with your team, your co-founder, whichever stage you're in, and say, look, we need 50 opportunities. What are we gonna do for marketing? What are we gonna do for outbound? And what are we gonna do for referrals? Let's lock in all 3 of these, and that will allow us to hit this number of 50 target opportunities. Out of those 50 opportunities, we'll have customer conversations, we'll collect data, that will clarify our roadmap, that will help us figure out what we need to pivot in our pricing or the way we make an offer or the way we run our demo, and that will also allow us to generate revenue. And as we do this, we'll get better and better and better, and this win rate will start to go up. And that will allow us to even go after bigger targets. And as we start to figure out, well, this channel is working really well in marketing, this outbound angle is really working, our customers love us, so they're referring us, you can scale these things and you can start to generate more opportunities. And that is how you remove the invisible hand with the power of this pipeline coverage equation, and you're able to drive growth for your SaaS business. So to recap, to figure out your pipeline coverage, number 1, figure out your target number, then put in your win rate. Divide the 2 and you get your pipeline coverage. That's how much pipeline you need. Divided by your average contract value, your average deal size, and that's how many opportunities you need. Divvy up that number between marketing, outbound, and referrals, and you can generate those opportunities. You can get them into the sales process or the conversion process. You can collect the data, you can iterate, and you get better and better, and you scale this over time. And that's the power of the secret, but not so secret, pipeline coverage equation. And now you know exactly what you need to do to figure out what is that invisible hand? What is my target number? And how do I make sure I generate enough pipeline? Now, what you may not know is, TK, this is great, but I don't know how to generate these 50 opportunities. I don't quite know how to spin up a marketing machine so I can put out a manifesto and generate quality pipeline. I don't know how to do outbound. I don't know how to mobilize my customers for referrals. I don't know how to do any of these things. Or maybe I'm doing some of these, but it's just not working. The go-to-market strategy is just not working. This is exactly why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of this program, I help you do 3 things. First, we really clarify your ideal customer profile. This is the specific targeted set of customers you're gonna go after that's perfect for your product. Second, we build out a manifesto. This is your strategic message. This is how you communicate your value proposition in the market to attract these customers. This turns into a marketing manifesto. This turns into the value prop you use in your outbound. This is what you give to your customers to mobilize the entire market to generate these 50 opportunities that you can then work in your sales and marketing process. And then I teach you how to run a Broadway show. A Broadway show is a consistent set of sales and marketing activities that you can run to generate this pipeline and generate these 50 opportunities. It's an incredible program. If you want to learn more about it and you want to work together to actually revamp your go-to-market strategy and hit your pipeline goals, because remember, pipeline cures all, just go to tkcater.com/GTM. tkcater.com/GTM. It's an incredible program. When you go to that page, you'll get all the details around the program. If it sounds like you'd like to work together, you just have to fill a little form, we'll get on a call. The better the fit, the better the results, which is why we get on a call to really understand where you are with your business and if we can help you. If it sounds like it's a great fit, we'll be off to the races. I will work with you directly to revamp your go-to-market strategy and accelerate your path to that next stage of growth and build out that scalable go-to-market strategy so you can actually hit your revenue numbers seamlessly. So just go to tkcater.com/GTM for all the details, and I'll also link to it below. Also, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. And so do we. My team and I put a lot of love into these videos. You'd be amazed how long it takes to create a video like this. That's maybe 15, 20 minutes, but it takes a full day to really put these together because that's what it takes to get to this level of clarity for you. So smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Also, I drop an episode like this every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon if you haven't done so already. If you have a fellow co-founder, if you have a team member, if you're part of a Slack group or a WhatsApp group with other SaaS founders, please share this video with them. It just means the world to us. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is gonna be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode or inside the SaaS go-to-market coaching program where we can work together. Take care, everybody.